I've always known Nintendo as probably one of the reasons that games are as big as they are today, honestly. Without Nintendo, it wouldn't have happened. And over the years, they've made a lot of great games, have continued to make great games, but they've always kind of felt stuck in the past and have had some issues with greed and money. Whenever they port one of their games, they charge full price for it, or even making retro collections like Mario 3D All-Stars. It's not only full price, but you have a limited amount of time to buy it. I don't know, for me, there's just been a lot of things that Nintendo does that has me kind of scratch my head. But this one is one of the most controversial and conflicting with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. And this DLC came from a Nintendo Direct that was honestly pretty good, and we'll tie into this a bit, but there was, as I said, stuck in the past. There's so many classics and ports that were announced, too many in my opinion, except for Earthbound. A new Mario Strikers was cool, Splatoon 3's Salmon Run, Kirby becomes a car! Nintendo Switch Sports, that was pretty cool, and the most enthusiastic demo I think I have ever seen for a motion capture game. I'm stoked about Metroid Dread getting a boss rush mode, and Xenoblade 3, that was cool for Xenoblade fans, bravo. But probably the biggest thing that generally everybody took away from this was the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe massive expansion. Is expansion even the right word for this? It is essentially 6 waves of content that's gonna overall double the amount of tracks that was already staggering in, I almost called it Super Smash Brothers. That's basically what this feels like now. It's gonna double the staggering amount of tracks that was already in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe by giving it another 48 tracks. I didn't say 10, I didn't say 20, I said 48. Like, yeah, I hope it comes with new characters, but to have so many new tracks, I say new, but they're really like remakes of classic tracks from the entire franchise, so that's kind of cool. Again, Nintendo diving into nostalgia a bit, but nonetheless, they are remastered in the current engine, so it's kind of like they're being brought back to life, so I think of that as enough new. What's shocking is that they're expanding this game for less than half the price of the game. It's 25 bucks for this, and that's crazy. The game had 48 tracks and is now gonna basically by the end of 2023 be 96. That's insane. So what's the problem? Mario Kart 9. Mario Kart 9 is pretty much a dead dream in terms of being on the Switch, because there hasn't been a new Mario Kart for the Switch other than Mario Kart Deluxe, but that's just revamping, you know, bringing over Mario Kart 8, which was released in 2014. So yeah, Nintendo might be squeezing their games dry, not giving their old games chances. Looking at you, Star Fox and DK. Still charging full price on ports, games that released a couple years ago and blah, blah, blah. All is lost. Nintendo hasn't let go of their ways. Or have they? Game DLC is not a new thing. It's something that has worked out very well for both gamers and the developers and publishers. It's just kind of a win for everybody. If a game is not complete or well received or things like that, then yes, DLC can be a scary thing, and don't do it, maybe. Just focus on whatever's next.
Don't do it.
But if it is great, then why not? Grand Theft Auto 4, one of the best games of all time. It came out with 2 big story expansions that were a third the price of the game, but they offered a lot more of what we love. Favorite game of all time, Halo 3, was a complete package. It was more than a complete package with everything it had. And yet we were still excited for these DLC packs to come to give us more of what we love. I'm actually just now looking at this. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is 92 on Metacritic. So yeah, when a game reviews that well and is selling as hard as it is constantly at the top of Nintendo's most sold games every year somehow. I'm baffled as to how it is. So if the game is super great and is selling super well, why wouldn't you want to dive into that player pool? And if people are loving it, then give them more of what they love. I can totally see other sides though. Sequels are great because they reinvent gameplay and give a better, a new base to kind of modernize it even more. Can you imagine if Super Smash Bros. Ultimate never happened and instead they just ported over the Smash for the Wii U and expanded that and added characters to that game, and we didn't get the new mechanics and stuff that we got in it? That's a good example. So that's why I kind of like that they're at least making it, yeah, we're gonna double the content in this game for less than half the price. I think Nintendo, they're stepping into this new era that's finally seeing what modern gaming can be, and I say that very cautiously because there's some bad things about modern gaming. That's an entire other video. But I'm not talking about those bad things. Nintendo typically does release a complete game that reviews really well. Even in just this new Direct alone, Mario Strikers, Splatoon 3, and Nintendo Switch Sports, they're showing the online features that will make these games great. And it's great to see Nintendo finally, being regular about having online multiplayers for games that could use it, like Xbox and PlayStation have been doing for way longer. Metroid Dread is getting a free patch that can just add, more challenge or less challenge and the boss rush to the game, similar to how Super Mario Odyssey and Animal Crossing New Horizons got free patches too. Nintendo's not strangers to expansions, but doubling the content of a game that's selling phenomenally well and reviewed phenomenally well for less than half the price, it's kind of good. Plus, they're also learning from folks probably like Xbox, by including this into their, upper expansion of their online service. So in a way, if you have Animal Crossing, if you have Mario Kart 8, then that service is now kind of paying for itself if you have it and if you had those games. So they're also potentially learning how, consumerism can be nice instead of just making that a service that was just a retro collection and that's it, nothing modern to benefit you. And that might be another direction they're going, where first-party DLC stuff, there might be like a seasonal thing to include in that expansion pack. But for just transparency, my feelings on this is admittedly complicated, because like I said, it'd be cool for a new Mario Kart, a new base game, and that game is doing super well, and that game's expanding, and that becomes the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That's really what they're doing. But instead of, making a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, they're relying on the Wii U Smash to put it into comparison. So I can see that being an issue with many, and it's still somewhat an issue to me. But in terms of value and the business practice of it, I can see this super well and not mind it. In fact, in some ways, think it's really good and shows Nintendo is warming up to the idea of expanding great stuff and having good deals for consumers and, I don't know, just good stuff about modern gaming. This video kind of has to do with the pro-consumer stuff that Xbox is doing that I talk about here that, honestly, Nintendo's probably learning from. So if you want more of that, you can go there. But please let me know, I understand, if people are objecting this or pro for it, either way. But let's talk about it constructively in the comments. I hope you hear my thoughts here. And don't forget to be geek, be proud, be awesome.